right? I don't think it's a bubble because I think it's always been around. So influencers come from attention. Yeah, that's what they come from. 1920s, you had radio.
Absolutely.
You had radio stars. It was people's voices were
politicians,
Elvis. Do you know what I mean? Anything music became massive through radio because it was a place where you could disperse your music. Then TV came along and you had TV presenters, and it was mainly the guys who did talk shows because that's when the whole family can get around. Or variety shows. They were the big guys. Remember Noel's Big House? Like I remember all those. He was like the ultimate.
Don't worry about it.
Mr. Blobby, no.
I've seen Mr. Blobby.
Blobby,
that's the guy from Deal or No Deal, isn't it?
Well,
was he on it? Maybe. Noel Edmonds.
Right.
So, and then you've got like how did a big purple dinosaur become so famous? A guy in a costume. It was TV. Yeah. And what's changed now is that new generations have just shifted the vice, and now it's personalities are emerging on YouTube, emerging on Instagram. So it's nothing different. The difference probably is the market is so saturated. And it's
because anyone can do it.
Exactly. And it's about picking up those gems. And I think that's where agencies can kind of ruin it a little bit. Whereas, because we already have issues with big CEOs and CFOs and older generations who are in business maybe not believing in the social media when it first came out. And that was my biggest issue. For 10 years, I was like, we need to be on Facebook. I'm not going to give you much money. But then once they see other people doing it, then they follow on. But by that time, you've missed the boat, kind of thing. Yeah. But agencies tend to, when they start focusing on individual people, then it just becomes celebrities. And if you get burned once, when companies get burned once by something new, they back away from it completely.
Right. Okay.
Whereas I do think that influencer marketing really does work. It just has to be done correctly. And if businesses or agencies even realize that they don't need influencers in their books, they just have to be the first port of call to say, we know that Stuart is going to get the job done because we vetted him. We know what he does. He suits your organization. He's not on our books because we want to be as open as we can because you might need somebody else. Yeah. But we have a good relationship with him and we can go to him, we can have a chat. And then after that, people will see results and they'll get their return on investment, and then you'll move on from that.
So it's all about building relationships with as many people as possible then. Yeah,
and also making sure that there's a kind of genuine feel to the message. So I've started tend to stay away from very big names that you see quite a lot of sponsored stuff. Right. So we talked about Casey Neistat. Yeah, I like Casey because he sticks to his guns. He likes boosted boards. Yeah. And he likes Samsung, but he uses Apple products. Yeah, and he's very honest about it. And he obviously, he flies a lot, but it seems very genuine. Like the guy actually looks like he uses that because he likes it. Yeah, and then Samsung will come in and use him as a partner. Whereas if I see somebody whose every third post is a different product over and over and over, I'm like, that's because if it doesn't work for me, I don't think it's going to work for the audience that's watching it. Yeah. And that's where you kind of start looking at your engagement rates and things like that and starting to think to yourself like, is this tangible? Is this guy actually going to come across as genuine?
Which is actually a lot more than most agencies would do.
I think so.
So yeah, you're ahead of the game there.
Well,
trying to set up an agency.
I do think where people struggle is though because it's very much going back to old age creative, where Don Draper in Mad Men, he used research, but he wasn't sitting there with Excel spreadsheets. He'd be sitting there in his office thinking, okay, I need to attract women in the household with Fairy Up Liquid. How do I do that? And it was the creative. It was the creative was the variable for success, as Gary Vaynerchuk, I don't know if you've ever heard him say.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that's like the ultimate, whereas we've shifted so much away from that. It's all about CPCs and on AdWords, and it's less about, look, if we just make an incredible ad, people are going to come. And it's genuine. And this is what these guys do. They create incredible content that people are just attracted to. Like, these guys weren't just arrived. Zoella didn't arrive at millions of YouTubers. She built that brand from nothing. And that, with no money, is pretty impressive. And I don't think any marketing manager can sit there and say no, because most of us can't do it ourselves. We're in the business. Like, I'm a social media marketeer. but I'm not. I don't think I could ever turn myself into a YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I'm much better at linking up people and building their brands than I am my own.
Right.
I think you'd be pretty good.
We'll see. See what happens. Never know. But yeah, no, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to have that extra income. But no, I mean, they've dedicated their time. Like, it takes a lot of time. I think it's
a lot of time and effort, and without any sort of feedback, you have to keep doing it as much as you can. Eventually, you get that feedback from people.
Yeah. And what's interesting is I use influencers as benchmarks for how to use social media properly. Because like influencers know their audience, so that means they create content based on what their audience is looking for, and they engage with their audience constantly. Some brands just think, I just need to be on Facebook, I just need to be on Twitter, I just need to be on Instagram. Whereas actually, there's a ridiculous amount of golden nuggets of people conversing with your brand that you could then turn into a product. Like, I don't know, maybe somebody wants their Tesla to be able to go to the shops for them. Saw that, loads of people talking about it, we need to stick this into a Tesla. Or maybe they want their fridge to be able to order from Tesco, which you can do. But it's an example of, I don't think people utilize social full circle, whereas influencers do, and that's why they become so big. That's why they become so massive. I mean, there's a big kind of lesson to be learned there for a lot of brands.
Well, I think for me, YouTube is going to undergo a huge transformation soon. I think there's a competitor around the corner, and that's going to be exciting.
Do you think?
I think since they banned Alex Jones' InfoWars, I think now they've politicized the platform. They're going to end up banning people all over the place, and someone's going to come into the market and say, "Hey guys, come over here." I'm all about platforms and constantly thinking about what's going to happen with the software. And that is what creates the opportunity for the influencers. So I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen in 2019.
Well, a big one for me is Facebook Watch.
Alright.
Because that's exactly what that's supposed to be.
Is that
Facebook Watch is continuous episodes and broadcast.
Alright. Oh, right, yeah, it's the new TV thing.
Yeah,
right, okay,
so this is where I think Facebook, because Facebook's biggest problem was you can't monetize on it.
Right.
Instagrammers can monetize, but you can't really monetize on Facebook. And I think now you're going to find more people putting their content on Facebook Watch because you can put ads in.
Can we actually do that yet?
Not UK based.
Right, okay.
So if you have a US based publisher, I believe, I'd have to double check this, but I was talking with a group of guys of the week who are in this area. I can't remember their name, but they were telling me that it's only US based publishers that are actually able to post the content into Watch.
Right.
And then also be able to advertise. Right. But they had that in the US for I think a year or 6 months before they allowed Europe to push into it.
Right.
But then the other side of it is, I think with the market at the moment, all you need is a Chinese company to come in. Because there's already a massive Chinese market that a lot of us can't access through Google products like YouTube. Can YouTube go into China yet? I'm not 100%.
I don't think so.
But they're mainly on Weibo and WeChat. But because I was saying it's so difficult to penetrate that market, that if an actual channel came out into the Western world that gives you access to that market, that's a big change because given the population size, 1% of one city is like the continental United States.
Really?
But I mean, I'm just trying to give it. Well, I don't know if that's factual. But I mean,
big.
You're talking like it's a huge amount.
Is it the population of the world, the rest of the world in China, something like that? I don't know. Maybe
Scotland.
More of an exaggeration.